All right, we're live. Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Welcome, welcome out for our Next Level Mastermind, a behind-the-scenes look at the Next Level Mastermind, our holiday hangout. If you refresh your screen, you should see a picture of me and Chris with our Santa hats on. Okay, we're getting in the spirit. So, Chris, how are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good. I'm doing much better. I'm excited about today and what we got for everyone. Glad to be here.
Yeah, me too.
I'm, I just posted a photo here on my Facebook wall, and Aaron Rashkin just posted on it and said, "Love you guys. You are still the change."
Behind the scenes. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why we're having this hangout today. I mean, there's multiple reasons, but we've had a lot of people, a lot of leaders in other organizations and just friends and people in general that have come up to myself and Chris and asked us how we do what we do. Like, some people have actually thought that Chris and I are in a relationship. And that, remember, some people have thought he's my husband. Remember when we were in Hawaii? So, it's, and we've never been anything more than friends and business partners. But we have an amazing relationship, which is one of the reasons why we're able to work really well together. And so we just want to kind of expose some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that creates that, and share some of that with you guys, because I think it's a really cool thing that we have going here. It is what makes us different in so many ways, because we're so much more than just business partners. Chris is like a family member to me. He's one of my best friends. And, to be in a partnership, a business partnership with someone who I know always has my back, makes a big difference. There's no competition here between us. We just, we have a really good thing going here. And so, because we've gotten a lot of questions, and just because I think it's kind of an important thing to kind of talk about, because, as you move forward in your business, whatever your business is, you're going to need to be creating business relationships to get build yourself to where you want to be in your business. And so to know how to do that, and to kind of just get a kind of behind the scenes look at how we've done it, I think will be helpful for everybody to be able to take your business to the next level and know kind of what's going on here behind the scenes too. So also, just so you guys know, this is a Q&A as well. So we're going to talk, but we also want you to know that if you have questions, if you have specific questions about pretty much anything, but like if you want to ask us specific questions about how we work together, or anything that's happened since you've known us, anything, you can ask us whatever you want. And if you want to ask us questions about the Next Level Mastermind, and we're gonna talk about, we're about to enter into a new year, so we're going to talk a little bit about the vision for the new year, and we're really excited about that as well. But just know that you can put your questions in the comment stream at any time, and if we don't answer your question immediately, we will get to it as soon as we can. So feel free to do that. And over to you, Chris.
What's that?
I said over to you.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, so this hangout's going to be a lot about what people need to know, and we're going to just get a chance to be able to talk about a few things that we haven't talked about before that are important, because partnerships are a very important thing in business, and it's an element that a lot of people don't talk about. And why I see partnerships so strategically and just emotionally and spiritually fulfilling is because when you're doing it yourself, you can have, or at least I can have, the tendency to feel like you're the only one out there, and you feel like sometimes when you're down, you don't have anyone else around to pick you up and keep you going, and it's got your back. And so, partnerships are a very important thing. And the amazing thing, with Amy is that, anytime I need her, she's there, and anytime she needs me, I'm there. And it's almost like an unspoken thing. And so it's a little bit of a unique partnership where it goes beyond just business, and it's friendship. A lot of people have asked me too. It's funny. Some people came up to me and said, "Is Amy your wife?" It's like, it's never been like that. We met at the Atlanta Empower Network event, and it was almost like an instantaneous thing, even with the top 200 meeting and sitting in the front row together. We just knew right away that the vibe was the same. We energetically realized that our values were the same and our goals were the same, and what we wanted to do for people and for ourselves was the same. And so it's almost like we fell into it. It's like we almost didn't even talk and get very clear about all of it at first. We were like, hey, let's be workout partners, let's do this, you know. And so things just evolved from there. And I'm just really, really grateful, because I would not be who I was. Because, you know, what I can tell you guys is there was a couple times throughout the course of these last couple years where Amy had to call me and be like, all right, I'm going to tell you the things that's really hard to tell you. I'm going to tell you a few things that I need to get off my chest. I'm going to tell you a few things that I see and I'm concerned about you for, and I don't know if anyone else is telling you this, but I have to tell you. And there were times when I was just about to my knees, like ready to cry, because I needed to hear it. And you don't get that normally from just anyone. And so when you got someone who loves you enough to get your back, but also tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, and be real with you and be straight with you about things, that's something you need to treasure and hold on to and honor. Because you're going to find throughout this industry that a lot of people are going to say a lot of things. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to say, like, hey, love you. You know, love you. You know, you're doing great. But the people that are real with you is where it's at. I said a couple different times on stage, and I've said this in a few hangouts, I've told people, you know, with me, what you see is what you get. If I like you, I'm nice to you. If I love you, I'm real with you. And people know that. And so I promise you, you'd rather have me love you than like you. Because it's worth it to you and anyone else. So as we go into this new year, just to set the stage here, you know, we evolved into something where we realized that we had something unique and special with our team, with our vision, and we attract a certain unique type of a person. And we knew that there was room to grow and space to take people to a whole other level. And that's why it was like we both independently arrived at the name Next Level. You know, Next Level Mastermind. You know, it came about also with the event we were doing, but at the same time, Amy was getting a very, very strong hit that that's the way she wanted to go with her own personal path. And funny enough, that's the way I wanted to go with my path. And so when she told me, hey, you know, I'm getting this feeling that, you know, I want to go with my new branding of, you know, Next Level Mastermind. And I was like, sure, you know, although in the back of my mind I was like, you know, like, cool, because that's kind of where I'm going. And so although, you know, at the time when it was me, Jordan, and Amy, and a few others, and we all decided to, you know, start growing in our own separate paths in our own ways, it was funny that I thought, me and Amy seem to be going in the same direction. So after a time, and after the Next Level Mastermind Intensive, we sat down and realized that we really really do work well together, and it's time to make that work with everyone else and not leave everyone out there to dry, but bring people back together again. And it felt right, it felt good. And now I got a lot clearer picture and vision of where we're going, because what we're doing is taking people to a space where it's really special. And what I mean by that is what you find in this industry, for the most part. Now, you have more leaders in Empower Network that are not like this. You have a special group of people even in Empower Network. But there are those snakes that come in every once in a while and shake things up, that kind of have their own unique selfish means and motivations there. And you know, we've seen some of them come and go. Empower has had an incredible purging of people like that over the last year. We do real well at getting them out of here. But in this industry, you often have leaders who operate from a fear-based mentality. You operate from a scarcity place where the question is, how do I keep my team? How do I keep them around me and plugged in and paying their dues and paying everything and being a part of my team so that it stabilizes my income, right? It's like a money motivation. And they essentially do what they can do to keep you dependent upon them. They will create systems for you and say, you know what, don't worry, you don't have to learn that stuff. I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to sell for you. I'm going to give you autoresponders. I'm going to give you all of this stuff that you need, so you don't really have to do anything but just get the stuff out there. I'm going to build your funnels and build your capture pages and do all of these things for you. You just need to stick with me. And that's their fear-based way of keeping you dependent. But you know what? That didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel right to Amy. And what we wanted to do was empower people to realize their true potential. And I spiritually knew that just from deep down, that my purpose was not to enslave people, but to set people free. And so my way of operating was, I'm going to teach you everything, and Amy's going to teach you everything, and we're going to give you higher level advanced stuff that you may not understand at first, but if you stick with it, you will learn it. And once you learn that and you get it, yes, you could go off and go do this with your own products to other companies and do all that stuff. And if you choose to do that, that's fine, because we honor you on your path. This is not about our money. This is about helping people grow. And what we said is, we know we're good enough that if we give you the best, you're going to continue to stick around, and you're going to love the vision and where we're going. And that's why we'll keep you around. It's a lot more like a church where it's a volunteer. You know, people volunteer and they want to be there. And if they don't like you, they go to another church. Well, here it's not like an organization where we give you, you know, a little pay raise as an employee and then tell you this is all you need to know and compartmentalize you and then keep you disempowered so that you accept the same salary that you're not worth. That's not what we do here. What we're here to do is teach you the tools that help you grow. And if you want to stick around and be here with us, we want you to be here. And if not, that's fine. But we're going to do what we are here to do as a part of our purpose. This was the same type of purpose that Dave did with Empower. He wanted to change the game. He wanted to empower people. This is what he told me when we started it. This is why we named it Empower Network, because he was like, I want to make something that empowers people. I want them to want to be here, not to feel like they have to be here or can't leave. I don't want to disempower people like that. I want to empower people to be at their best, and if they want to stick around and make it even better here, they can be a part of that vision. And if not, great, honor you on your path. And so we took the same approach. And so it's funny that we have people that have been with us from the beginning, through all the hard times, through all the tough things, through all the ups and downs with Empower and whatever else has happened, and they're still here. And what that speaks to me, what that means to me is we're doing something right. And so what we're going to do over this next year in 2015 is empower people even more. And we're going to have more dimensions to what we do in our team. We're going to have other stuff for people to be able to monetize. We're going to have stuff for people to grow. We're going to be creating a lot of cool things. And the energy's there. So we're going to take that energy and channel it, direct it the right way, and you guys can be a part of it. So with that, back on over to you, Amy.
Yeah, so what he said, but also, you know, I just want to touch on a little bit more about, you know, again, like as promised, just to kind of go into a little bit more about where we're coming from, who we are, how we work together, because like I said, I think it's important, whether you're on our team or you're looking at our team. We've been hearing that there's people, whether they're just floating out there on the internet wondering who we are, or people that were around a long time ago and kind of fell away, and they're hearing about this new energy that's going on, and they want to know more about who we are. And that's one of the reasons why we thought it would be a good idea to be like just really transparent with you guys, so that if you're looking at us and you don't really know us, or if you're already on the team and you just want to get a better idea about who are these people that are leading our team, I'm just going to give you, over the course of this hangout, as much as I can about how we operate and who we are. And so, like with me, and Chris knows this about me, I get like gut hits about people when I meet people, when I'm around people, and usually I'll get like, it's like a whole body yes, or if it's not, then it's like a no. And when I met Chris, it was, you know, like he said, like we both knew that there was something there that needed to be, you know, we needed to go deeper, that there was a working relationship there that needed to happen, and we knew it right away. And I think this is an important thing to understand, because when, you know, if you are out there, I mean, Chris and I met, like he said, we met at an Empower Network event. We were both already in Empower Network. He didn't sponsor me. We didn't know each other before. We had already both started doing the business before we met. So this can happen, you know, this can happen anywhere out in your life. You know, you can meet somebody and immediately have a connection with them. Don't, you know, sweep that under the carpet. Those are the kinds of relationships that can completely enhance your life. They can enhance your business, even if it's not a business relationship. There's certain people that are meant to be in your life. And I've had that feeling about Chris, and he's known and he's watched me have that gut no message over the course of the time we've been working together about certain things. And sometimes one of the things that I'm looking forward to going into the new year is just really trusting myself, because I've had gut feelings and I've swept them under the carpet because I just want to see the good in people. I just want to, trust everybody and trust everything. And usually, when I have a gut feeling about something, it's a message that's telling me something that I need to listen to. And so, I normally will voice my opinion about stuff. As Chris knows, I can be a real pain in the ass sometimes because
I need it though. Sometimes it takes a lot to get through to me.
yeah. So if I'm having a feeling about something, usually I'll voice it. But a lot of times, I can be talked out of things or talked through things, and not necessarily by Chris, but I have been in the past where I've been led to believe that my gut instinct is wrong when actually it was never wrong. So just so you know, that was like, the how we entered into this relationship was because I got a whole body yes about this relationship. It's gotten, we've had struggles, over the course of the time we've been working together where, like Chris said, we've had to have like come to Jesus talks with each other. And those conversations have made our relationship even stronger, I feel like. Like the more I get to know Chris, the more I know that we're meant to be working together. Like we have a lot to provide for people. And, like I said before, we don't have any competition. We celebrate each other. We share all of our best ideas with each other. We don't hold stuff back, and I think that's one of the reasons why we work so well together, because we both have our team's best interest in mind. And so if I have like this great idea and I'm like, I'm just going to go over here and do this little idea to benefit myself, like that doesn't work, because we're leading an army of people together. And the same with Chris. As you know, Chris is he's a scientist when it comes to marketing and storytelling and certain things. We both have our strengths and weaknesses, which is another reason why it's awesome to have somebody to work with, because we can we balance each other out. And the thing about, like, when we first decided to work together, I think he mentioned this briefly, but we were going to be accountability partners. And that wasn't really what was meant to happen. We learned that right away. I feel like this isn't about accountability. It's about being true. It's about bringing out the truth and the highest potential in each other. That's what we do for each other. And I feel like if you have to hold your business partner accountable all the time, then it's probably not the best business partner, right? Because what a pain in the ass. So we'll go sometimes without, we're in contact most of the time, here and there via, like text or Facebook messaging or whatever. Like we're never like out of touch for super long periods of time, but we do go, like, Chris travels a lot and he'll be in like foreign countries and stuff. It's not like I'm talking to him on the phone every day, but if I'm on the edge of a cliff and I send him a text and say, when, I need you right now, he's right there. I know he's right there. And so that's the beautiful thing about it, is like, it doesn't matter if if we don't have a lot to do or we need to be in conversation on a daily basis, then we might not be. But if something comes up, even yesterday, something I had a download, which we both get. We both get these like insightful, like, stuff happens. So I texted him and I'm like, can you talk at some point tonight? Meaning like whenever. I just want to talk to you about this idea. And I immediately get a text back saying, I just woke up. Can you give me a few minutes? Like yeah, give me a few minutes. Like, I don't mean right this second, but he's right there. Like, even though he just woke up, he had a tough day yesterday, was taking a nap, whatever, but he's still right there. And so that's the beautiful thing about this. And again, like, all of our choices and all of our decisions and all of our conversations are based on making the right choices and conversations and decisions for the people that we work with. And like I said, we have a team of people here that's growing and will continue to grow. And we both love to serve. And in order to serve, we have to be constantly thinking about what's in the best interest of everybody involved here. And there's a lot of conversations that go into that. And I just feel really blessed to be in a partnership with somebody that's at the same level as me. We have a lot of the same values, spiritually and as far as integrity, like all of this stuff, which I feel like is incredibly important. You know, we see business partnerships all the time, especially with virtual businesses, kind of like we have here, where these people, you know, they might be business partners, where maybe they have two different really good technical skills that they can kind of come together and like offer their people or whatever, but they're not, they don't really like know much more than that about each other or each other's families or where each other are at consciousness-wise. So I think that's, you know, that's one of the things that makes this really different because, you know, like I said, we, you know, Chris and I, we speak the same language, which is important. I mean, somebody else might think I'm a completely woo-woo freak if I said, I just had a download, I need to talk to you. Or whatever, all the stuff we talk about. I mean, we have a lot of really, really deep conversations. And you know, when you're committed to serving people, you have to always ask the deeper questions. That's what our relationship, that's the foundation of our relationship. This is not like surface stuff. This is like, let's go deeper, 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 create the most amazing thing that we can create, you know, because that's what we're committed to. And, you know, I'm a creative person, and I know Chris is a creative person too, and so, you know, just to touch on kind of where we're going in the next level mastermind, this isn't about a business in a box like he was talking about before. This is about creativity. It's about my creativity, it's about his creativity, and it's about your creativity. We're co-creators. That's what we're doing here. We're creating. And so I invite you as well to just really trust your instincts, your intuition. When you get a, you know, a gut hit like I'm talking about, listen to that. Do something with that. And don't be afraid to, you know, do whatever it is that you're passionate about. Follow the signs. You know, like I mentioned earlier, one of the things that I'm really committed to in the new year is really trusting my guidance, you know, my higher guidance that you know, I get signs and messages and stuff, and a lot of times I'm like, oh, no, I'm too busy, or I don't know if I could pull that off, or whatever it is. Listen to those messages, because that's where a lot of, I mean, everything that we have here has come from that. It's all come from inspiration and from universal consciousness downloads. Before I go off any further, Chris, I'll pass back over to you, see if you wanted to add anything to that.
And it's funny that a lot of people, you know, they might see me in one way as woo-woo as well in a lot of ways. However, those of you who have seen my training know very much that I can be very grounded and very analytical and very much like a scientist, like Amy says, about things. So, you know, my creativity comes from wherever it comes from, it comes. And I want to be able to bring that out in people in our team as well. And my look and my take at it is, I understand now why I've learned promotion formulas and the right structure on how to sell, the right structure on how to do a blog post, the right structure on how to tell a story, the right frameworks on how to operate and how to market and how to understand your markets and who you're targeting and who you're looking to influence and how to resonate with them. And so I've developed and learned all these frameworks and formulas that help me operate. And what it allows me to do is take my creativity and Amy's creativity and fit it into and direct it through those frameworks and formulas that makes it usable and profitable, and the way that it reaches people and moves people and influences people and gives value. And so that, I feel, is really the parts that are most important in this whole industry in marketing, is understanding your framework and understanding the formulas on how to go about things and the right structures, and the strategy is very, very important. For a long time we talked a lot about mindset, and mindset is also what you need. You don't need just a good mindset, but you also need the strategic part of what you're doing every day. You need both, because the mindset is going to keep you doing the strategic part every day and doing it well and keeping your inspiration. And so you need both. And before, I've been in this industry for about 15 years, and I studied marketing even in high school. I read books that no one would read. I read guerrilla marketing when I was 16 years old. My brain is weird like that. I don't expect people to do that as well, but what I do know is there was a purpose for me to be so interested in marketing ever since I was that young. It's because I'm able to bring this out and show people how to use their creative talents and gifts and put that into their marketing to be able to get paid for doing what they love and blogging about what they're passionate about and being able to do it in a way that they can run a business with. Being paid for your creativity is the highest paid skill, really, because that means you're actually allowing that creativity. There's ideas that die every single day with people because they don't understand how to get their message out there, because they don't know how to put that into a blog post or into a lead capture page, or how to sell something, or how to promote, or how to give away, or even write a free report on it, or anything like that, or write a book and sell a book as an author, or be a speaker and have a message that you can do on stage and deliver, or in a video on YouTube, or whatever the case may be. And so what we wanted to do here was not limit you by saying, here's what you need to think, or even how to think, but here's how to take however you're thinking and where your creativity is, it's coming from within, and get it out there and utilize it in your business. And that's the real world approach that I look at what we're doing in the Next Level Mastermind. That is why when you have it, and I'm actually going to restructure the site as well. It's going to look real cool. We're going to have like certain lessons and videos and a menu page and everything, and cool stuff. I haven't even told Amy about that, but I was actually learning about how to do that. There's still technical gaps in what I know how to do, but I learned this a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh crap, I can restructure the Next Level Mastermind site and make it like so sleek and so cool looking and so intuitive, and so we're going to do that. But what I can say is the training that's still there. Just in your drop-down menu, you can go up there and look at the framework and get a drop-down menu of all the different frameworks you need to use within your marketing, that you can take your own thoughts and your own creativity and insert into those frameworks for your marketing and make it work. And then there's training that Amy's done in there that is, about blogging and how to specifically get into the nitty-gritty of doing this and marketing. And so I think it's a perfect combination. And I don't see a lot of these frameworks being taught in other places. I mean, I talk with other leaders. They let me into their sites so I can take a look around, and some of them I've let them take a look at my sites, and we mastermind and we talk about it. And funny enough, it seems like with team sites, we're the ones giving advice to others a lot of the time, at least me. And so with all of that, the direction we're going is we don't want to constrain people. I don't want to tell you what to think. I want to inspire you how to think. And I know Amy feels the same way. That's why she was talking about when I get a download, it's like, oh my God, let me talk to Chris. Or when I get something, I'm like, oh my God, I have an idea. Let me talk to Amy and how we can implement this and how it works. And the biggest thing here, there's two schools of thought on this. Some people talk about how your creativity is your gold. Your creativity is the lifeblood of your business and your very being. And then there's others that are like, you know what, I know what works. I know how to influence. I know how to sell. I know how to do all of these things. And what I see is that people who are here miss the forest for the trees because they don't realize that you want to insert your creativity and your uniqueness into this. It takes both, not one or the other. It shouldn't be a paradigm of one or the other, good or bad, good or evil, or better or worse, or something like that, or black or white. It should be both working together. And that's what we're attempting to do here. I feel this is a much higher level type of operating, and people who actually go through and apply this stuff to their own creativity are going to find that they're going to have the reactions from people like what I get a lot of the time, which is like, oh my God, this was mind-blowing. I was just on a hangout last night, and people are like, I have no words. Like, this is mind-blowing. Like, this totally changes the game for me. I wish I could buy all over again. I wish I could go all in all over again. And all I'm doing is taking those frameworks and putting my creativity and my unique take into it. But because the frameworks are what matter, that's what I've discovered, is those frameworks are what matters. Your story, tell it however you want to. Tell what happened, but use the structure so that you know where to put what parts of your story. It's just like writing a book. there's a structure in how to do it so that people can go through the progression and understand what happens and understand the linear progression and the lessons learned and understand what they're getting from the book and from your message. The same thing goes on when you tell a story in whatever format, whether it's on Facebook or in your marketing or in your blog post or any other medium that you choose, even a long copy lead page. And so I feel that what we have here is unique and is getting even more unique. But you know what? This type of stuff is the same thing that allowed us to get on a hangout and sell an event at $3,000 a piece and make $27,000 in a day, generate that much income. And over the next 2 more days, 3 days in total, we did $36,000. And that is not normal. And that is not something that can be done all the time.
And people said that they got way more than their money's worth and we should have charged more. So really we should have made like 90 grand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and we're going to do it again. And people in the Next Level Mastermind are going to have a leg up and a special thing for that they're going to be able to take advantage of, because we want to be able to help people do exactly what I'm talking about, which is take the framework and insert their creativity, because that's easy. Instead of you having to reinvent the wheel, or a trainer out there saying, look, no, say this and do this. You have to say this to somebody because it manipulates them to decide to join right at that moment or buy something from you. And then they have buyer's remorse the next day. No, no, no. We're not doing that. We're not hypnotizing you into buying. And, it's funny.
Buyer's remorse at our whole event. Not one single person.
Right. And, I've had that conversation with Dave, and, he openly talks about how he can use neuro-linguistic programming to get people to feel like they can't help buying, and he jokes about hypnotizing people to buy. However, if you listen to his full explanation on that, a lot of people have and know and understand that he's not hypnotizing anybody to buy. Like he knows how to stir people's feelings and connect that to their logic and connect both of them, which is genius, right? And I have my own way of doing that, and it works just the same. And me and Dave have talked about that. None is better than the other. But this is not about manipulating people or hypnotizing people or anything like that. It's about moving people based on what their motivations are, and those, and bring your creativity into it in a way that resonates with people. Then you have a home run. So, yeah, back on over to you, Amy.
Yeah, so I love this because this is such a huge piece of the equation. I feel like, as far as being creative, being co-creators, you get to write the rules of your business. This is your business. And I think, sometimes we see other people doing things, and so we think, oh, this person's getting all these leads on Instagram, so I need to go learn how to do Instagram. That's what I need to do. The thing is, no, you don't. Like, just because somebody else is doing something doesn't mean that you have to do it. You have to do what feels right for you, which is exactly what we've just been talking about. And, don't be afraid to challenge your assumptions. And what I mean by that is just, what I just said. If you see somebody doing something that you think you're supposed to be doing because they're having success with it, challenge that. That's an assumption that you've made. It's not the truth. The truth is that this is your business and you call the shots, and if you follow your heart and you do, what gives you aliveness, whatever gives you aliveness, do that. And then take that energy and, just do what's truly right for you. And that love and that energy will spill over into what you're here to give to the world. That's not going to happen if you are too concerned with learning this technical technique that Joe Schmo is having success with because you think that you need to do what Joe Schmo is doing. You are not Joe Schmo. there's a tweetable for you. You are not Joe Schmo. Who the fuck is Joe Schmo anyway?
Tweetables from Amy.
Who the fuck is Joe Schmo? Anyway, I really feel like, and I'm not the only one that feels like this. There's books about this. There's quotes all over the friggin' internet about it. Follow your heart, follow your bliss, do what you love, and the money will follow. All that stuff, it's not bullshit. It's true. And I think, as human beings, we question it, and we think that we have to do what somebody else is doing in order to get where we want to go in life. And the fact of the matter is, it's not true. And I'm going to share this with you. A lot of you on the team might already know this about me because I've shared it before, but I think it's really important. I was asked the other day, I was on a hangout as a guest, and I was asked where my biggest breakthrough came from. And this is what it comes down to. And this is still to this day, this is where my biggest breakthrough came from, where I went from struggling to being successful in an instant. And it was from a shift in my mindset that I had from listening to the Inner Circle audios, which you should be doing every day if you're in Empower Network. I cannot speak enough about that. And I actually said this to you, like my strategy, you want to know what my marketing strategy is? It's listening to the Inner Circle every day. That's my strategy. It's such a huge piece of the equation that you're missing if you're not doing it. But in any case, I had a belief that making money had to be difficult. I had a belief that I had to do things I don't like, that I had to be on the phone all the time, that I had to do cold calls, that I had to do home meetings. Like, I had all this stuff that I hated doing, but I had a belief that if I was going to be successful, then I had to do all these things. That's just what had to happen, because in the business I was in at the time, the people that were having the most success were doing all these things. So I thought that that's what I needed to do. When in my heart, I wanted to market on the internet, and the owner of my company said, no, this is a relationship business. You need to talk to people in person. And so I kept doing it. I hated every fucking minute of it, but I kept doing it. I was not having the success I wanted, and thanks to that Inner Circle audio that I listened to like 20-something times, I was listening to Dave Wood saying it doesn't have to be hard to make money, and one day I actually got it. Like, I had the shift, and in that moment, the money started to flow because I started to trust myself. I started to trust that I could actually love what I do and get paid really well for it. And that day, that started to happen, and it's continued to happen. And so the reason I'm sharing this with you is just to help you understand. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust that you don't have to do it the way somebody else is doing it. I don't care who it is. I don't even care if it's somebody that you resonate with so much. Like, you want to be just like this person. This is the person that you're modeling after, and this is what they do. It still doesn't mean that's how you have to do it. I mean, I go out on limbs all the time with my marketing and everything. It's like I do weird stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But like, if I have a feeling like I need to like make a video about this and do this, I just do it and I see what happens. And sometimes I surprise myself, and I'm doing it based on my own feeling. I'm not doing it based on what I see someone else doing. Sometimes I even wonder if I'm going to get in trouble. like the other day, I'm like, Chris, I need that Dave Wood video to make a capture page because they're not letting us use it as a capture page, and I know it'll get leads. And so he used his magic powers to download the video, and now I'm getting leads from it. So, that's just a technical thing. But, like I said, like I even posted it in the Empower Network Kalatu group to ask, like, kind of ask permission or ask, and I talked to Mars, and I was like, can you get me that video? I really want to use that video. Nobody answered me. So finally, Chris downloaded the video, and I just did it, and whatever. So that wasn't based on, oh, I see so-and-so doing this. That was based on, this is a really good video. I know I can get leads if I could get this video on a capture page, and sure enough, it worked. So trust yourself. Trust your gut feelings, and really, I think really the key is to figure out what it is that makes you feel alive, and do that every day. And that's what's going to have you be successful, because that's what's going to make people want to be around you. It's what's going to make people want to do what you're doing. And it's also going to make you want to get out of bed in the morning, because you know that something really valuable to offer the world, because you love what you do so much. And if you hate what you're doing doing Instagram because you think you have to, but you hate it, you're not going to wake up in the morning feeling really inspired to go share your Instagram strategies with people because you hate doing it. So find something that you love to do so that you can share that with people. Chris?
Just to segue into another element of that is, some people are like, they have this mindset of like, I need to be able to create success in my business. I need to create conversions. I need to convert people. I need to, some people get to the point where they're so motivated or desperate, they're like, I need to make people join. And what they resort to is fear tactics. And people use fear tactics as manipulation. And what I just want you to let you know here is what we do at the Next Level Mastermind has nothing to do with fear tactics. Let me give you a perfect example. I was actually having a very spirited conversation with a top leader in Empower Network on Leadership Council and such, a very good friend of mine. And I said, you know, I think that whole pain, agitation, solution thing is a bunch of bullshit. And they were like, what do you mean? And I was like, you know, if you take those three words, PAS, pain, agitation, solution, you have two negatives and one positive. And who knows if that solution, how positive that actually is. And I said, you know, it just doesn't feel good. You know, I feel like when I see people follow that, I look at their sales letters, I look at their videos, and it's a bunch of fear-mongering. It's essentially getting someone so scared that they're desperate to take whatever solution you have. And to me, that's manipulation. That's manipulation. And I was just like, you know what, that doesn't feel good to me. And what I feel that does is that's you casting a net and reaching out and pulling in the people who are in fear that make decisions about fear. And the only way you get them to move is when they're uncomfortable enough. And I'm sorry, but I don't want to live my life to where I have to continually be a slave driver and make you uncomfortable to do anything. It's not how I work. So I replace one word in there. I don't use agitation. I use aspiration. Pain, aspiration, solution. You see, I don't speak to the fear. I acknowledge the contrast and that we are in a duality world of fear and love. Making decisions from fear or making decisions from love. Doing what you love or doing what you fear, what you're afraid of. I don't make decisions based on what I'm afraid of. I make decisions based on what I love and what I want in my life, right? And so I'm going to do a little pain aspiration solution training on our site soon. And that's it. Amy actually just said something there in the chat. That's why I'm saying that. Perfect idea, Amy. Thank you. That's why we work well together, right? And I'm going to do a training on that because what I feel is if you're speaking to what people want, you're going to attract the people that are looking for more out of life. They're looking for more out of themselves, and they want more out of life. They're looking towards and moving towards something they love and what they want versus someone moving away from something they don't want. Major stark difference. And what I see as the majority of this industry is marketing to people who are trying to move away from everything they don't want, which is okay, you know, but the thing is, those people don't do anything. That's why this person, you know, and like some people I talk to, like the average accepted retention rate is 47 days, you know, and then they leave, and 99% of them can't create a full-time income in this business. Do you know why? Because they're not motivated enough to change it, because you have to go in there and then paint a picture of horror and how bad their life could be in order for them to go make a fucking blog post. So I'm not okay with that. And I don't want that in my life. I don't need that energy around me. And I do just fine bringing in people who love what they want and are moving towards what they want. So my deal is, okay, let's acknowledge the pain, but let's not agitate it. Let's not make it worse. Let's say, look, this is what you don't want. Now let me show you what you do want. And then here's the solution as to how to get it. Pain aspiration solution feels a lot better. One negative, two positives. The positives outweigh the negative. That's what works for me. That's how, with only bringing in 115 people ever into Empower Network, I have one of the highest retentions ever, and my upgrade rates are #1 in the whole company for people who have sponsored at least 100 people, and my income, I've made $250,000, results not typical. And $160,000 last year alone. I know my check said 125, but it was 145 in Empower. It was messed up from the back office, and I made 20,000 more, 17,000 more with other income streams like affiliate tools. So how do I do that with only 115 people? Because I'm speaking to people's aspirations. Because people want to be around. Because they look at where I'm going and they're like, I want that too. I want to have that. That's why I live and talk about my aspirations of being able to live in a place that's a vacation destination place that I can go and do the thing that I love the most every day if I want to, which is snowboarding, being on the mountains, being in the flow, being in my bliss. And then come home after getting all that inspiration every day and then inspiring people and being on hangouts and teaching and training and showing people how to do the same thing I do. There's nothing better than that. So just remember this whole pain, agitation, solution thing. Stop being told what to think and think about it this way. Pain, aspiration, solution. That's how that works. Because I see people sponsor thousands of people into this company and they have less than 100 people active. And that's not okay for me. I'm not going to run the numbers game to bring in all of these people that are stuck in fear and then have less than 1% of them do anything. And then the rest of them quit at the moment they realize they don't need it that bad, and then make excuses and point the finger at the people and accuse them of holding something back or, you know, not helping them enough when they need to do it for themselves. And the fact is, we have entrepreneurs here in our team that don't make excuses for anything. And they're here, and they take responsibility for their actions, and they know that it's up to them, that me or Amy cannot do anything for them except inspire them and teach them to do it themselves. We don't play this, oh, we'll do it for you, you just stick with us. No, I'm not your slave driver. I'm your leader. And if you want to follow, we're here. And we'll be here, just as we have been here. And we haven't moved. We haven't gone anywhere else. We've kept our word. We've done the best we can to live up to everything that we have talked about. And I think we've done a pretty damn good job. Back over to you, Amy.
Yeah, we have. We have really high standards. We hold ourselves to really high standards because there's a lot we want to see happen in the world. And there are a lot of things that about the way things are done, even just in our industry, that we don't necessarily agree with, because we're not about manipulation or any of that. We're about, you know, making a positive change in the world and showing people how that they can do the same thing without doing anything that involves anything other than purity and integrity and authenticity. So, you know, that's really who we are. Now, I know we're coming up on an hour. I have an idea, Chris. I have 3 questions here that I'd like to ask you. Can I ask you 3 questions? And I'll answer them too. And people can answer them I would love to have you guys answer these questions yourself in the comments as well, as we, because I think we need to kind of segue into kind of where we're going, and also Q&A. If anybody has a question about anything we've talked about or about anything, go ahead and put them in the comments. Hey, before I get into these questions, though, I just want to answer a question that I've actually been getting a lot of lately. You might have seen my Facebook post about it the other day. People are asking me if I'm leaving Empower Network because they see me marketing Kalatu. And they think Kalatu is something other than Empower Network. Kalatu is Empower Network, okay? I just want to clarify that in case you are not in Empower Network and you have no idea what's going on. Kalatu is a word that means to tell a story. I don't remember the origin of that word, Chris, do you?
It's from an old Indian, Native American tribe that talks about coming from within, inspiration, using your creativity, getting source creativity, getting direct downloads, essentially. So it's getting inspiration from the ethers, essentially, is what that means. It's awesome, because
I was looking around for some other definitions of it too, and one of the definitions had prosperity in it as well. So anyway, it's a powerful word, and it's the name of the new amazing blogging platform that Empower Network has in beta testing right now, that's going to be released to the public here pretty soon. Now, in the meantime, if you're already in Empower Network and you haven't gotten on the list to be a beta tester, you need to get on that list. And if you don't know how, I guess I can say the link here. I guess if you're not in Empower, you won't be able to get to it anyway, right, Chris? Because it's not like a public page. It's just empowernetwork.com/Kalatu. If you haven't signed up to be a beta tester. Now, if you're not in Empower Network yet and you want to be one of the first people to get your hands on this thing, it's amazing. I've been blogging every day since they released the beta version. I think I have 9 or 10 posts on my blog now, and I've been having so much fun with it. And I'm blogging about CrossFit. I'm not blogging about making money. I'm doing this because I decided to create a challenge for myself based on a training that Kim Claver did in Orlando, and like the Julie and Julia idea, where if you blog every day about something that you're passionate about, eventually you will have traffic and you will have, things will happen because of it. So I started this CrossFit blog, and I'm basically, I want to be a demonstration of how you can blog about whatever you're passionate about and make money doing it. Because I think a lot of people think they have to blog about making money to make money. And although we've talked about this since the beginning of time, that no, you don't. You can blog about photography. You can blog about cooking. Nobody does it because they don't believe us. So now I'm blogging about CrossFit. I'm getting about 10 leads a day from my Kalatu blog. From my Empower Network banners that I've customized, and I have a training on the team site that shows you exactly how I did it. I've customized these. Chris Record created 700 and something banners to match every niche he could possibly think of. And if your niche isn't in there, I did a training to show you how to. My niche wasn't in there. Now he added it because I asked him to, and then I went ahead and I just made my own. But anyway, those banners have pictures of people doing CrossFit, just saying basically stop doing what you hate and start doing what you love. And people are clicking on it and opting in, and I'm building a list that way. And so you can do the same thing. The blog also has all these amazing call to actions built in, so at the end of every blog post you can choose which one you want. So what I've been doing is, on a lot of my blog posts it'll say like, I'm blogging, it'll say like PS. As you can see, I'm blogging about CrossFit, which is one of my biggest passions in life, and making a living doing it. If you're interested in blogging about your passions and you want to learn more about how to do that, go here. And then I select the call to action that says viral blogging system, and it's automatically inserted into my blog post. It's automatically coded to me, and it's got David Wood on it, and it's a cool thing. And then like when someone clicks on it, it takes them into one of my funnels. I've also there's an inner circle funnel that you can select as well. And I've used that because CrossFit for me is a lot of mindset stuff. So sometimes I'll segue into the inner circle as far as if you need to shift in your mindset, here's where I've gotten mine. And I put that banner. But you can choose whatever one you want, and you can create your own. So it's actually a really cool way to make a living, like we've been talking about, doing what you love. Blog about what you're passionate about. And I think Trish is on here. I see her in the comments. Trish, if you're still on here. I think it was you the other day that posted something on Facebook saying you had an epiphany when you saw my blog the other day because you realized that you've been trying to do something that you weren't truly passionate about, and now you see that you can actually do it this way. So it's actually really cool. So anyway, that was kind of long-winded, but basically what I'm trying to say is Kalatu is about to launch. And if you're not in Empower Network yet, you can join. There's a link under this video on this page right here where you can join. Whoever brought you to this hangout, you will be on our team here. And you can, once you're a member of Empower Network, you can get on that beta testing list. And you can start using the blog basically the blog, it's live. Like it's ranking in the search engines and getting traffic, and people are using it for all kinds of cool stuff as beta testers. The only reason it hasn't been released to the public yet is they're just as people are blogging on it, they're just giving feedback to let the Empower Network team know anything that might just have a little glitch or it might not be work, or feature requests, anything like that. They're trying to get it to be like as streamlined, as beautiful as possible before they launch it to the public. So if you want to get in and be a beta tester, you can join our team today, and then you can get on that beta testing list and start playing with that. So I just wanted to clarify that Kalatu and Empower Network are the same thing. I am not leaving Empower Network. I am never leaving Empower Network. This is, I've been here since the beginning. I'm extremely proud to be here. I love this place, and I'm not going anywhere. So for those of you that were wondering if all of a sudden I'm doing something different, no, I'm not doing anything different. I'm doing what's coming with Empower Network, which is truly, truly exciting. I'm really, really excited about this next phase. Do you want to add to that, Chris?
Go ahead, finish.
No, I just wanted to see if you want to add anything to that before I ask you questions.
Well, yeah, and by now you guys should realize that, we're not going anywhere. And I wasn't trying to make an embedded command there, although we've taught some of you guys that stuff. But I just kind of meant it. Like by now you should know. This is where we're going to be. And as long as this is around, I know what it stands for, and I don't have to worry about the rest of the details. We'll figure those out. We always do. The greatest thing about this, let me give you a quick example of what vision does and what values do. This vision of Dave Wood's, it was to empower people. And then we proved it by becoming the largest direct sales company, growing at that rate in the first 2 years of any direct sales company ever in the direct sales industry, according to the DSA, which is the Direct Selling Association. We proved that. So essentially what I'm saying is you can't tell us the contrary. And because of this, we have attracted the greatest and most brilliant minds in the internet marketing industry, bar none. What I mean by that is we have the best CEO that could possibly run our company. And why do I say that? Jonathan Cronstead has come from a network marketing MLM family. His parents were top producers in a company and still are, and have built an amazing organization that he grew up in and had a very unique perspective to grow up around an organization of integrity and of growth and production and understanding what holds organizations together. He has a unique perspective on this industry and understands it better than most people. Now, on top of that, he's one of the most brilliant, smartest people I've just about ever met, and one of the most charming as well, and can understand people quicker than most people can breathe. Really amazing to even just sit and have conversations with him is always enlightening. I love it. And the moment I sat and had that first conversation with him, and he talks about this too. The first person he had a real conversation with outside of Dave Sharp was me at the Orlando regional event. And I knew after talking with him there for 40 minutes, I sent Dave a text message, Dave Wood, and I said, dude, this is your guy. Like, there's no doubt whatsoever that this is your guy, and he is meant. It's like he was born to run this company. It's like he was literally put here 33 years ago, born here to become a part of this movement, which is changing the whole industry. And so we have him, and he knew that he had to come here because he was just fascinated with it and trying to understand why is it that this thing is done and broken every paradigm and shattered every rule in the industry that we've talked about. Eric Worre even told Dave Wood that himself. We've shattered every rule that everyone has always talked about in this industry that you need to do in order to build an organization and build a company, and we've shattered all of them. We did everything in the face of all those rules. We did exactly the opposite and proved it and pulled it off. That's the kind of game changer Dave Wood is. I'm never going to doubt him. Yeah, he's human, and sure, he makes mistakes, and the company's made mistakes, but we've learned from them, and look where we are now, poised to explode again. So just that, but then we also have Mars. Mars, most of you don't even know that he is the CEO of the Launchman, and the Launchman is where all of the biggest internet marketing gurus have gone to do their launches for their products. They come and consult with Mars because he's so smart, he understands how to sell and market better than they do. And they're doing products about marketing. And so you got to understand, he's so highly respected in the industry that the best of the best. We're talking about Frank Kern, we're talking about Brendan Burchard, we're talking about Mike Filsaime, Mike Koenigs, all these amazing people that that have shaped the industry. They come to him, okay? Yeah, and so they come to him, and he was so fascinated with the vision of what we wanted and what we did, that he came here to be the chief marketing officer. He felt that inspired by David Wood. So when David Wood can paint that kind of a vision and attract those high-level people, the best of the best of the best, yeah, you better hold on. You better stick around and hold on, because what's coming out in the next couple of weeks is going to blow your mind when you see those funnels. You ain't seen nothing like it. Promise you that. Because I've talked with them. I've seen, some of you guys have been on those hangouts and saw just the concepts of it. Wait till you actually see it in motion. That is genius in motion, and we'll see it work better than anything we've had before. So, on that note, how can we fail? We won't. And we are here, ready, on the forefront of this. A lot of you saw that video of Kalatu. You noticed that Amy and I were both in that video. We were there because they asked us to be there. We didn't ask to be there. They invited us to be here and to be at that meeting to start to plan and strategize the launch of this new blog and what it needed and the direction of the company. And we made a lot of big decisions that day. I was actually the one that was said, look, let's do the State of the Internet address right away. Let's get it out of the way. Let's do it, tomorrow, and let's make it happen, and then move on. And Dave came to me and said, changing the commission split, do you think this is going to affect the company? And I said, you know what? Always something like that will affect the company. And I said, but we can take the hit. We're stronger than any other company. We're better. We can do it. And whatever losses we suffer from that, that's going to be the people that shouldn't be here, that don't understand the vision and should not be here because they're actually causing it to, they're a hindrance to the growth of it. And
well, it's not even a hit. I don't think it's a hit. I think it's a positive thing because look what we have because of it. Now we are going to have Kalatu. They wouldn't have been able to pay for Mars and all the stuff that's going on.
And we've grown more because of this. That's exactly what I was going into, and thank you, Amy, because it was like that's exactly what happened. Is we first announced the 70-30 split and was like, look, if you guys want us to be here, we have to be able to fund the company. Dave has given 86% of all of the commissions he's ever earned from his own affiliate account and put it back in the company just to keep the company running. That's not fair to him. That is draining on David Wood. And if David Wood is drained, he does not have the inspiration to take this company to the heights and the vision that we all aspire to. And so we needed to do it. And I said, that's fine. I'll give you 30%. That's totally fine. If that makes this company be able to pay for everything that we're building, absolutely. Let's run it like a real business. Let's be responsible business owners. Let's do it. And this is going to allow us to be around for the long term. I love it. So, yeah, that's it on that. Back to you, Amy.
Yeah, this place is amazing. And just to touch on that again for just a second. I'm actually happy about the change in the comp plan because of what we just said. Like now they have resources to create amazing things. Like this funnel that Mars is creating that Chris was just talking about is going to blow people's minds. It's going to convert better than anything. I don't know if you guys were on the Hangout and you saw his little map about what he's up to. It's insane. Like we've never had anything like this, and we wouldn't if we didn't have the resources to build the kind of team. I mean, we have the most amazing team of people on the corporate side of Empower Network now between Mars and Jaycron, Jamie, Travis, Bonnie. Like the people that are working behind the scenes for Empower Network are, like Chris said, the best of the best. The fact that we've been able to attract Jaycron and Mars and like people that are like the best of the best, like really, and here they are with us, it's amazing. We're so fortunate. And yeah, there's no way that anybody can fail here unless you quit. That's it, or unless you just don't do anything. But anyway, so that's all I wanted to say about that. Alrighty, you ready to answer some questions, Chris?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so just some questions to inspire some thought. Everybody go ahead and answer for yourself in the comment stream, but I just thought I'd throw these out there just to help people, again, just kind of see into our minds a little bit more. First question is, what's the most important thing you learned, accomplished, or experienced this year?
That I don't have to be like anybody else. And in fact, that hinders me from being able to be the best that I'm ever capable of.
That's awesome.
Seems simple, and I conceptually understood it in my mind, but when I took an honest look at myself and actually applied that and let go of, well, if I'm not as good as this person and not doing that, then I can't make this happen. And I said, you know what? No. I was born with a certain set of unique talents, gifts, and strengths, and I need to live into every single one of those, and that is the only way I'm ever going to tap into and utilize my true potential.
That's awesome. Beautiful. Guys, answer these questions in the comments. I'll say for me, the biggest thing that I've come away from this year, that I'm coming away from this year with, is learning to trust myself. I know I've talked about it quite a bit already. Just learning to really trust my intuition, and that I am love, and it's starting with myself. Learning how to, love myself, and that love carries out into every other area of my life. So that's my answer. I'm not seeing any answers, but I'm wondering if it's because of the delay.
Oh yeah, there's like a 35, 40-second delay, and then people need to type. So this is perfect.
Yeah.
They'll come in here in a minute.
Okay. Should we go on to the next question, or do you want to wait and see?
No, let's talk about this a little more and let people continue to, because they may need a minute to also think about this. And so what I'll do is give you guys a quick thought about it that will help you, understand how to answer this. And so when I looked at the last year, I just looked at the last year and I said, what worked the best for me? What gave me the biggest response from people? And what did I feel the best doing? At what moment did I just say to myself, now I'm starting to understand what I'm made of? Think about that. So, and I'll give you guys another one for me, is not only did I realize that I really needed to just learn to trust myself, and Amy was talking some about that last time, a little bit earlier in the hangout towards the beginning, about trusting herself. And it's like I learned how I could trust people. And that's another big part, that when there were things outside of my control that I was allowing to get me down, that I realized that was the last time I could ever let that happen. And it's like I've known conceptually in my mind, which is a big thing people need to realize, is you may know it in your head, but then you may not necessarily be practicing it and carrying it out in your life. And so it takes looking at your life and going, okay, well, instead of saying I already know that, going, well, have I really fully been honest with myself about that in my life? And have I really been practicing what I preach and doing what I believe? It's the same thing that oftentimes when I do a training, I refer back to my notes that I have learned over the years. A lot of it I can have in my head, but I notice that when I don't refer back to my notes, I'm human and my brain works in weird ways and I forget stuff. And so a lot of times I will have my notes that I've taken 2 years ago or 3 years ago sitting there right with me when I'm doing a training. And when I'm doing my marketing, I've noticed that, I'll go write a blog post and then do it so fast that and I may not have been in practice, may not have done one for a couple weeks, and I'll do it, and then I'll go back and look at it the next day, and I'm like, wow, I missed like 3 major elements about, being able to blog and be clear about stuff and take my unique take on it. And I was like, wow, I didn't insert all of those things. Had I had my outlines of my frameworks in front of me when I did that blog post, I would have been able to refer right to them and go, oh yeah, oh, I didn't say that in there. Okay, cool, let me put that in there too. Done. Couple seconds. And that can make all of the difference, because what I've noticed is there's a certain few number of elements that cause a person to really shift their thinking. You need to have all of those elements. Can't miss one. Well, that's why we give you the framework, so you have those elements. And so for me, it was like referring back to my notes and getting better and making sure that I'm doing what I've learned every time, rather than learning something, not taking notes, and then, oh, that's great, let me go see if I can apply that, and then a month later forgetting all about that concept and not applying that in my business. That's going backwards. That's why you want to take notes. That's why even in Empower Hour calls, I'll take notes, just to stay sharp. It's just like Abraham Lincoln said, if I had 4 hours to chop down a tree, I would spend the first 3 hours sharpening the axe. Same thing. So back to you, Amy. Do we have any?
Yeah, well, we've got Natasha just says, love it, love everything. But Trish says, I had pretty much given up. The most important thing I learned this year is that I don't have to settle, and that has just made all the difference. I love that. That's such a huge, huge, huge piece. That was one of the biggest breakthroughs I had in one of the first personal development seminars that I did. Was realizing that, and I think it's a lifelong journey. At least it is for me with the settling. Like, I notice where I consider settling in my life, and now that I'm aware that I've committed to not settle, I mean, I've come a really long way. But I notice when it comes up and I'm like, I see that I'm about to settle about something. It comes into my awareness so that I can actually look at that. But I've become, it's amazing, from being somebody that would settle all over the place in my life to being someone who now, and Chris knows this about me, even when we go to events, when I check into the hotel, I demand the best room. Like, I'm like, upgrade my room for free. please.
And that's what I do it too, and I get it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta ask.
I never would have done that before. And you can't get stuff if you don't ask for it. In a situation like that, like they're not just gonna say, here you go, I'm gonna give you a twice as big room with a better view for not asking, you know. But that's where I'm at now, is like just constantly stretching myself to the point where not only will I not settle, but I want to see how much better I can actually have it just by simply asking the right questions. And so it's a great exercise to kind of go through life with. I've learned so much from doing that, and I've had an amazing life from doing that. You know, I've had, you know, much nicer hotel rooms and all kinds of awesome stuff just because I've asked the right questions, because I refuse to settle. So that's awesome, Trish.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it bears mentioning that she had said something early before we asked the question, which actually answers this question, because she talks about this last year about it, and it's back here. I scroll down to the comments. It said, "Thank you so much. I've been so conflicted. There are so many successful people doing their thing, and I feel like I'm stepping on their toes if I don't follow their advice. And I do so much better when I make my own plan. Why? Because I make a plan and do it rather than being torn and distracted, which just results in me feeling unsettled. Got to declare my independence for myself and go for it. Thank you." And that's a big thing. Like, I mean, that's the same thing that a lot of people deal with, but it's a major revolution of your mind when you do it. And gosh, I think that, like, speaking like that, Trish, if you haven't read the Motivation Manifesto yet by Brendan Burchard, I will just put a plug here that is the best book I've just about ever read in my life.
Me too.
Yeah, and so inspiring. I get chills. I want to, like, highlight every sentence of the book with a highlighter. It's insane. And so that book to me is just the whole concept of freedom and how to get there, and talking about all the things that keep you from that. It's almost misleading to say the Motivation Manifesto, because, you know, motivation mostly comes from the outside and inspiration comes from the inside, and that's why it's inspiration. And you know, I think personally it should be called the Inspiration Manifesto. But I know how Brendan Burchard likes alliteration, with the first letter being the same letter with everything, and so you know, Motivation Manifesto probably works better for him. But I can't say enough about it. I really can't. It's
one of my favorite chapters is on fear. It's called On Fear. And he talks about how fear is just bad management of the mind. It's like one of my favorite lines so far in the whole book.
Exactly. Same thing. I was just reading that yesterday again, and it was like, it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
We're more aware, and he says something like, we're more aware of the dogs barking than we are of the angels singing. That's how we go through our lives, right? Yeah. We notice all the bad more than we notice the miracles that are around us all the time. I mean, the bird singing, that's a freaking miracle. It's right in front of our face, you know, but we go through our lives living in fear. Anyway, it's an amazing, amazing, amazing book. So, yeah, I highly recommend it. It's been on the bestseller. He just released it, and it's been on the bestseller list every week. I think it's been like 10 weeks or something, which is, I don't know, it's probably breaking some kind of records. It's amazing. And what's cool is that so many of us ordered it the day it came out, so a whole bunch of people were all like reading it at the same time, which I think is raising the vibration of the planet.
I agree, totally.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I want to read something else here real quick before we go to the next question, from Kathleen. You know, it bears mentioning and repeating that she says, "I've noticed that what Amy is talking about is so very true. Lately I've been saying my mind controls my body, my spirit controls my mind, and my faith controls my spirit. It has helped me connect more with my subscribers. Chris and Amy, you are the best." And that's just really what we're talking about here, is taking that creativity and inspiration and where that comes from. And it's that simple. I love it. Thank you, Kathleen. So, Amy, yeah, on to the next question.
Next question is, I just want to make sure I unmuted myself. What are you most looking forward to in 2015?
Personally, tripling my income, which to me is not about the money, but speaks to me that I have tripled my effectiveness in reaching people and moving people and influencing people, and that I'm speaking my message with clear intent and not muddying the waters by settling by having to do something like compare myself to some other leader or what they're doing, realizing that what works best for me is what works, and I need to do that. And then having great partnerships with people that do what I do, don't do what I do well, do what I don't do well, and like Amy, and that only, it's not a 1 + 1 = 2 type of equation when you have a business partnership with people that fill in your strengths. It's almost like in a lot of the spiritual texts and the biblical and many other spiritual followings, they'll say when 2 or more are gathered, the power multiplies. And it's the synergistic effect of it all, is that the sum of all of the parts does not equal the whole. It's much larger than that. It's more like a 1 + 1 = 10. And you all have that here in the Next Level Mastermind as co-creators. So use it. Some leaders try to keep their team members separated from each other because they're fearful that they're going to go and cross-recruit. And they're fearful that they're going to go and spread negativity like a poison in the minds of others that, that other people will catch like a virus, and that it spreads throughout the team. And I've seen it happen. And I don't think we have to worry about that here, because everyone's got a vision pointing towards their aspirations and not focusing on negativity or fear or what they can't do. And if you are, get with the program. So, yeah, that's for me for 2015, is that the income at the end of the year will be reflective of the amount of significance and value I've delivered and what I've done and how effectively I've done it. So, yeah.
Awesome. I think the other thing, that the fear that comes from other team leaders wanting to keep their, not wanting their people to come together, is that they're afraid that they're going to create something bigger and better than they are. The thing is, this is a mastermind. This is the Next Level Mastermind. We want you to mastermind and go to the next level. That's what we want you to do here, right? We encourage it. Create alliances here. Make friends. Make, partnerships. Do stuff together. Lift each other up. That's what we're here to do. And before I answer the question, I noticed that Natasha answered this question, and I just want to bring this up because this is important. She said, to have my intention video come true is her answer. So if you're on our team, in the Next Level Mastermind, that on our Facebook group, we've been having everybody do an intention video, and part of that intention, one of the purposes of that intention video is to set 3 specific goals for the coming year. So you should know exactly what you're going to create in 2015 if you've made your video. If you haven't made your video, definitely go do that. And if you aren't on our team yet, you can click the button below this video and join. And once you do, you will be directed to the instructions on how to create your intention video. And the other cool thing about that video is we've been seeing people have breakthroughs because there are people that have never made a video before, and we've created a safe space for people to make their first video, and they've gotten in front of the camera, and it's been a huge breakthrough for them. So now, video marketing is such an important piece of the equation with technology today. It's the best way to connect with people, and everybody should be doing it. A lot of people are afraid to get in front of the camera, so that's the other part of the equation with these videos, is to help people, get comfortable doing that and to have a safe place for you to do it. But these intention videos are powerful, and so when you join our team, you will be given the instructions on how to do that. And then the other great thing about it, besides stating your intentions publicly, is having the whole Next Level Mastermind, all of the co-creators come together and support each other to know what each person is individually up to actually be able to put a face to a name and see people on video, so that when we do come together in Vegas next month or in January, we all kind of know each other already. For those of us that haven't met before, we've seen the videos of each other and that kind of thing. So it's creating a more solid foundation for this community, for this mastermind. So thank you for bringing that up, Natasha, because that's huge. For me, what I'm most looking forward to in 2015 is, it goes along the lines of the last question, and what I've, one of the things that I've kind of learned in the last year, and taking that, which is my own self-trust and self-love and love in general, and bringing that, more of that, all of that, into my business going into the new year. Just really trusting my gut and my heart and to be able to just really build, to take my business and this whole group of people to the next level, by simply, just really, really trusting myself on a whole different level than I've been able to do in the past. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. And then just also, of course, I'm super, super, super excited about this new Kalatu platform that's launching, and I know that I am manifesting the biggest financial year I've ever had in my entire life, which I know will be possible with this, and to be that much closer to my $1 million ring by the end of the year. So let's see, we've got Trish, continue to regain my health, strengthen my body, and let my soul be my guide and take care of my family. Earn money to have more time to do just that. That's awesome. That's a huge piece of the equation as far as I'm concerned, is really honoring our bodies and taking care of ourselves, because without that, it's really hard. Like I find, I like to exercise in the morning, and I find that like when I do that, when I move my body in the morning and sweat and all that good stuff, the rest of my day is just so much better. I'm much more clear. I'm much more productive. And so I think they go hand in hand, the money and the honoring our body. I mean, it's all, in any case, in my opinion, true wealth isn't just about money. It's about health and happiness and all, time freedom. So that's awesome, Trish. We are family. I think that's it for the answers for this one.
Next question.
Okay. The final question. What are you most grateful for right now?
That I have my health and my inspiration to give me everything I need to fulfill every part of my path, which is inspiring, which is teaching, which is producing, which is speaking my truth and speaking my message, and that I have everything I need already to do that, and grateful that I have the inspiration to do it with.
That's awesome. You guys can go ahead and answer in the comments too. Mine, what I'm most grateful for right now is for the people that I love in my life, my children, my dad, Chris, you guys, my friends, that all of you and all of these special people in my life bless the planet, and I get to love you all. Natasha's grateful for this hangout. That's awesome. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I'm getting all emotional now, but yeah, that's what happens with gratitude. When you get really, really present to your gratitude, not everybody will be moved to tears like I am, but that's the power of gratitude. I've found that I've had some challenges over the last week, over the last several months, and particularly over the last week, where gratitude has shifted me out of, like on Thanksgiving, I didn't get to be with my kids. They were with their dad. That's the hardest thing for me about being divorced, is having to spend a holiday without these children that I birthed. There's something about that just doesn't seem right to me, and it doesn't get easier for me over the years. So we alternate every other year. I'll have them for Christmas this year. Last year they weren't with me for Christmas, and so Thanksgiving this year I was going through some struggle with that, and I just came back to gratitude about it. I'm so grateful that I get to have them every other Thanksgiving, and I'm grateful that I get to have them for Christmas, and I'm grateful that their dad is an important person in their lives. Not all kids have that, and I sat there and I just sat in gratitude about it, and I came to it made me feel so much better. And that's, gratitude is, in my opinion, probably the most powerful thing that you can be with on a daily basis, practice that you can implement into your life on a daily basis that can make all of the difference for you. So that's why I'm crying right now, because I just got really, it's not a mind thing, gratitude. It's a emotional, heart-centered thing. When you really, really tap into what you're grateful for, it should move you. Even if it doesn't move you to tears, you should get goosebumps or something, because we really do have so much to be grateful for. Like, I'm grateful for my bed. I have like the coziest bed. You know, like even like simple things like that are, it's awesome to just really like tap into your gratitude for them. You know, there's people that are sleeping on the street, and I've got this feather bed and down comforter, and you know what I mean? Like, there's so much to find to be grateful for. So this is such a huge thing. And so, Natasha, I love that you say that you're grateful for this hangout, because I said, what are you most grateful for right now? And right now, you're on this hangout, and you're present to your gratitude for that. So that's powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Chris just said, what I'm grateful for is my husband, and I'm beginning to get out of my own way, and my 13-and-a-half-year-old dog who still meets me at the bottom of the stairs each morning. Oh, see, I'm going to cry now about that, too. That's so cute.
You know, I'm thankful that I'm alive.
Mm-hmm.
I had to deal yesterday with something that I know as I get older I'm going to have to come to terms with a little more. I had one of my closest, most impactful mentors and spiritual teachers and friends that has guided me and helped me so much that I would not be who I am today without pass away yesterday. And it's crazy because I was tuned in and I got this incredibly strong hit to call her. And her sister answered and was there with her, and she said, Chris, she's going to pass on any minute here. It's unbelievable that you got the hit to call when you haven't, you know, I hadn't talked to her in a month, and she had been suffering from pancreatic cancer. And she put the phone to her ear and let me say the last few things that I needed to say, thanking her for being such an inspiration in my life and helping me to understand myself in a time when I came out of something that was so confusing and so difficult. A lot of you have heard that I've had a cult-like experience in my mid-20s where I was just spiritually searching, and I got real messed up over it. And it was her that helped me pull out of it and learn how to protect myself spiritually and energetically and start to understand myself and equip me and help me to deal with and be able to help others doing the same thing. And so many times when I've been in a confusion state of mind, I've been able to get clarity with her, and she's been such a major impact on my life. And I'm thankful that I was able to be in tune enough to get the hit to call. And when I said the things that I did, that I was just honored and grateful for the impact she's had on my life and what she's taught me, and how I'm just so grateful, and her teachings will live on in me, because I know that was one of her biggest purposes and parts of her life, is the school that she had and what she taught people and how it affected people. And being able to say that, her sister got back on the phone and said, you know, she hasn't moved or acknowledged anything in a day. And she looked up at me and moved her eyes and moved her hands and put her hands together like she was thankful and grateful when you said what you said. And it was like moments later that she passed. And I'm so grateful that I got to say what I did and say goodbye. And just as a reminder that, you know, I look at that and go, I felt like I just never could have spent enough time with her and talking with her and learning from her. And to not take for granted the relationships that you have in your life of people that, you know, they may feel closer than family, that they impact your life in a way that most people are not capable. And I'm grateful that I got to say what I did, and grateful that I'm alive and that I'm not going to waste those moments reaching out to the people I care about and reaching out to the people that have made a difference in my life and that I've made a difference in, and that significance that it creates, and being present with people. You know, a lot of you watch my introduction for Amy, And you notice that in like the first 60 seconds, I was just so all excited, and I was letting my eyes adjust to the light so I could actually see the audience from the bright lights that come up. And so I was just really happy and excited to be on stage. But there was this moment, and you all saw it, where I finally was able to focus in on the audience, and I was like, ah, there you are. And I got quiet for a second, and everyone saw me. It's like my pupils dilated, and I got present with everyone. And I said, so something like the order of the day, so the theme of the general theme of the weekend, and I went into my message. And it's an amazing difference, and you guys all saw the state change from me just being excited to getting present with everyone and connecting in with everyone. And everyone kind of went, and their pupils dilated, and they listened to every word I said as I spoke my message introducing Amy and what she meant to me and the significance that she was about to give to everyone, and prepping people and helping them wake up and realize what they were about to receive and the gift that they were about to get. And there's something about being present with people. And ask yourself next time when you're in a conversation with someone, how present are you? Are you running in your mind thinking about the next thing you're going to say to carry on the conversation, or the next thing you're going to say to get acknowledgement from someone? Or are you genuinely fully engulfed in what they're saying and listening to every word, that the moment they finish speaking, your reaction is natural because you've heard everything you say and you get to respond to what they just said? Be the better listener. Be present with that person. Don't hold a two-sided conversation that both people are just saying what they want to say to get it out and be acknowledged. Be present with people. It makes all the difference in the world. My mentor, Deborah, she was present with me whenever we were speaking, and it made a big difference. She was able to discern and intuit and sense where I was coming from, and she was able to address that, and I love her for it. And if you do that with people, they will love you.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm just gonna add, I'm grateful to be alive too. I've been, as part of the other struggles I've been actually going through for several months alone because I didn't want to tell anybody. But I've been having some health issues that finally got to the point where I had to go get some tests done a few days ago, and I was concerned about my heart. And while I was going through this process, I did exactly, it helped me to get way more present than I've ever been in my entire life, because I had all kinds of crazy stuff going on in my head about what might be actually going on. And I'm like, I have to be present in every moment. I have to just make the most of every single moment that I'm on this earth. And just so you guys know, I got these tests done and everything's okay. But, you know, I learned so much. I mean, I'm still not completely healed, but I've learned so much over this process about how much of my life, or how much of our lives and how much of my life that I take for granted, and that, you know, we never know when, you know, our time's going to come. We never know when our loved ones' times are going to come. Chris's friend yesterday just took a turn for the worse, and everything happened pretty quickly. He wasn't ready for that. We're not always going to be ready for it, whether it's us or somebody else, and so again, just being present is such a huge piece of the equation. And I think I've laughed more over the course of this time that I've been wondering in the back of my mind how much longer I'm going to be here than I have in a long time, just because I'm like, you know, it's important. It's, you know, just to stay really, really present in every single moment. And so I love that you brought this up, Chris. And yeah, you know, it's just, we never know. Natasha's saying here she's grateful for her mom's life, and that she had her mom in her life for 33 years. And, you know, I lost my mom too in a car accident. I didn't know that was going to happen. You know, could I have been more present in some moments with my mom? Sure. So this is it's a great lesson to take away as far as staying present and really living your life to the fullest, laughing on a regular basis, cranking the music, dancing, just, you know, enjoying life while you're here, because we never know. We never know what the future holds. So that's all I wanted to add to that. You're welcome, Trish. Trish is saying thank you for sharing. You know, that's what we do here. We don't don't really, which we are transparent. We don't hold stuff back and act like. I mean, I can't even help myself. I can't even help crying when I moved. I don't pretend to be some hard, got my shit together person, because it's just not. It's just we like to be real here. So, anything else, Chris?
What are some of the things that we haven't told people, Amy? Some of the conversations we've had that people should probably know. We had that conversation when we went up to the mountain that we took people on the hike, the Next Level Mastermind. Could you talk a little bit about what your realizations were there?
Well, Chris and I went on a hike to scout out the hike that we were going to take everybody on at our Next Level Mastermind intensive event. And we ended up getting to the clearing at the top, and we didn't know until we looked at the clock that 4 hours had gone by. And it went by in a flash. We were looking out over the amazing view, and we talked about so many things that day that, the things we talked about I don't even think are really what sticks with me as much as I felt like a completely different person on the way down than I did on the way up. Like we figured out all the world's problems that day. That's how it felt. Really, like we did. And, and we set the intention for I'm going to get all emotional here, for to date the most amazing weekend, one of the most amazing weekends I've ever had in my entire life. And we created that for others as well. So so that conversation was powerful. But we talked about business. Chris shared a lot of really personal stuff with me that was going on in his personal life, and we talked about that. We talked about positive stuff. We talked about, negative stuff. We talked about a lot, but we just sat there and we didn't even really look at each other the whole time because we were just like looking out over this view. We were sitting on this bench that was created out of the rocks that had fallen down from the mountain, and it was like a little couch that we were sitting on looking out. But that was a transformational day. And those, what I really, the biggest takeaway I think I got from that was who Chris is for me in my life, and how grateful I am, and how important it is for me to have somebody like that I can sit on a mountaintop with for 4 hours without even looking at the clock, without eating. Like we hadn't even eaten. Like we should have been hungry, but we didn't even think about that because we went really deep that day. And I think, I'm just so grateful to have the opportunity to be able to do that, not only with my friend, but to also have this person be somebody that I work alongside. I think it's a really special, magical thing. And I don't know, Chris, when asking me this question, if there was something specific you wanted me to talk about, but yeah, that was a great example of one of those. Just, I feel like, I know you want to talk. I just feel like those kinds of conversations, and we've had them over the phone too. Even the first time I talked to Chris on the phone, we talked for 3.5 hours. And it wasn't even about business. It was about a date that I was going on that night. And I was telling him my challenges with men, blah, blah, blah. And he gave me all the world's insights on that, and blah, 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 blah. But like we've had many, many phone conversations that are like hours and hours long. And I always come away feeling lighter and freer and wiser. So,
You poor thing with some of your relationship issues. Oh, God. But I've been the same way, and you've given me advice and helped me understand. I'd be so, conflicted about things, and you'd be like, you know what? Here's what you need to understand. And that type of experience and viewpoint on things has been really, really helpful. There's something I want to mention here about, how we've been able to navigate through Empower, dealing with a lot of people who have very selfish motivations, and people who come in and see that there's troubles, or issues with Empower, or when we had trouble with the shopping cart and the technical stuff, things like that. And when we tried to become a technology company with our own custom blog that was not that great. And I remember, there's people that are very opportunistic that come in and say, what they, or not say, but they essentially are like, oh, well, here's this huge group of people that I can take advantage of and sell to, and sell some of my own stuff, and not respecting people's teams and the people who were the procuring cause that brought people in, and not respecting that. I've seen some major stuff happen where people have, influenced Dave to be, like a face and a teacher and a leader in the company, and then completely do it for internal motivations and selfish motivations. And I'm just going to talk about this. Not that I'm trying to give it energy, but I'm giving perspective for people, because there's a message in this, and you need to listen to it all. And that is, there's been people that have come along that we've helped create products with for Empower Network, and all the while they were creating something to do a big coup d'etat to take everyone, once they had built the database, somewhere else. A lot of people saw the public story with everything that happened. And I'm just going to say this because it's far behind us, and I have no compunction about whether or not this person would ask me about it, and I'd tell them exactly how I feel. And I think it's important for you guys to understand how to look at this from a leader's perspective. Is, like the situation with Vic. And yeah, I'm going to talk about it. I can't even see Amy's face right now, and she's probably going, oh my God, you're going to go there. Because I can't see her face, only a picture right now. I don't know what happened with your camera there, Amy. Hopefully you're still there. But he had internet traffic formula. And the funny thing was that came out in the spring. But when we looked at the company that he created, where he created all these look-alike products and Me Too products that were exactly like Empower's system, and he was, all the leads that were supposed to be coming in, all the leads that were supposed to be coming in from, from the whole company that was getting on the internet traffic formula list for the launch, he was stealing that list and then starting to send emails out to cross-recruit everybody into his own company, where he'd make more money. And he essentially came to Dave, and I'm just going to say this, like, this is some behind-the-scenes stuff you didn't hear, but he came to Dave and was like, look, man, I'm creating this thing, and I would feel like an asshole if I didn't share it with you. But what he didn't say was his intentions, that, hey, I want to steal your whole database of all these people that you've worked so hard to create a community around, and I want to go in there and spread poison in there and give doubt and say that I'm better, and then get the whole database and then go and give them and bring them into your own thing. And that is the most snake-like, just horrible, selfish intentions, that not caring about people. And if Vic was right here, I'd just tell him to his face he's an asshole and he's a snake. And that's how I feel. And I've publicly made that aware before, and I tell people that. People are like, hey, I went to his training. I'm like, I don't care. He may know a lot of what he's talking about, but he's not ethical. He's not honest. And I tell him that to his face. And I'm just going to call him out right here. I have no compunction about doing that. But let me tell you why I'm telling you this. Because, me and Amy had to get together and go, how are we going to deal with this? And we chose to take the high road, realizing this is the same thing Dave Wood does, is that, we're not going to give it energy and normally go into a bashing mode. Now, I went into a little bit of a calling somebody out, but I have no problems about doing that when it's about ethics and integrity, because I stand for that, and I always will. I see a lot of people looking to profit from other people that they did not procure. You see people come into a team and they're like, hey, there's all these people here that I can go put a bunch of fear in their minds about this company, and how, and I can twist things about the bad things that are happening in this company when they're not bad at all, and paint a picture of, doom and gloom, and say, well, my deal's better. Sounds a lot like pain, agitation, solution to me. And then go jump them into something else that they're going to make a bunch of money from. All the while not thinking about what they're doing for that person. They're putting more fear into their life, and they're disempowering them, leading them to think that just by jumping to something else is going to solve their problem. Now, I'm sorry, as a leader and a producer who knows how to market, I can do it anywhere at any time with anybody I want, and that's why I get offers all the time to jump to different companies. I've been offered deals. I've been offered sums in the 5 figures, multiple 5 figures, to go to other companies. I will not go. That's not about the money to me. I'm going to stay true to myself and true to my people and the people that I've brought in. If they want to go somewhere else, that's their business, not mine. That's between them and God. But what I'm doing is, and why I'm talking about this, is there's many times when Amy has been like, look, Chris, I have this feeling about this person. We cannot allow this person to be on our platform or be on our stage, and us, you know, and I've argued with her and said, no, I think we should. And, you know, she's been right about it, and I've talked her out of it at times because of her wanting to honor me and be able to understand where I'm coming from, and you know, she's learned to you know, through that, she's learned, like, okay, I'm never going to do that again, because the role that Amy plays for me is to be the moral backbone that says, this doesn't feel right, you need to tune into this, because sometimes I'll get out there and I won't be present and I won't be tuned in, and she has to be like, look, feel this out, look at this, and I'm like, oh, okay. And when you have a business partner that helps you do that, it makes all the difference in the world. And so here's what I'm here to tell you. If you're out there wondering, maybe I can make more money in this deal, or maybe I can make more money in this deal, or maybe if I just go and steal all of these people over here, I might be able to make a good living. Well, guess what? That is very short-lived, and I'll tell you why. Because the people who you're bringing over, they're the ones that are susceptible, and you're going to be burned the next time around, because they're going to be jumped into some other deal from some other person in the team you create. They're going to come in. It's happened to me. Wait till it happens to you if you ever do this. And then someone's going to come in and fear-monger your people and scare them to death and jump them into another deal, because they're going to think that there's something outside of themselves that's better than inside of themselves, and they have to go get it from somebody else, not you. Because you were the one that was pointing the finger, you need this from me. And it happens. And so what I'm saying is, you know, it's kind of like that song, Love the One You're With. You know, you're here, you're with us, and make it work here. Because you can make it work anywhere, but who has your back and who is going to give you everything you need to make it happen anywhere is right here. So it's just one of the funny things that we've had to deal with. You know, there's been leadership council issues between people just in our leadership council in Team Be the Change that was like, look, these motivations are not ethical, you know? And you know, it's happened in our team. It's happened with leaders, and it's just selfish motives. And you know, I am not bashing anybody in particular right now, because I love the people that were on our leadership council, and I bless them and wish them the best. And some of them I feel are a little lost, and some of them I feel are on their path and where they need to be. And ultimately, I think they're all where they need to be, because they need to understand and experience the lessons that they need to learn from the choices and the actions that they take. Some people unknowingly realize they're really disempowering people, and not just the people that have left from here, but you know, a lot of people out there. And you know, so it comes down to where if you're fear-mongering and you're using pain agitation solution and you're scaring people into having something or going somewhere or jumping somewhere or buying something, realize it's going to happen to you too. And what goes around comes around, and you might be making decisions that way too. So you have to look at it and go, am I going to make a decision based on what I don't want, or am I going to make a decision based on what I do want? And it's a big shift and a big difference. And the more life-enhancing way is based on what you do want, moving towards what you want, not away from what you don't want. If you move towards what you want, you automatically move away from what you don't want, and you don't even have to focus on that, because the way that you do want helps you stay in positivity, in gratitude, and in energy that's aligned with where you're going. But if you're focused back on the fear, it paralyzes you. And scientifically, it's been shown that people who are in fear or angry or mad or upset or afraid, that the brain disconnects the front prefrontal cortex and disconnects the left and the right side of the brain, so that you cannot make a decision and make a choice. Exactly. Psyche. Exactly. And so because how you solve problems is by taking your deductive reasoning from your left side and your inductive reasoning from your right side of your brain and connecting them together and coming up with a solution. When these are disconnected, you cannot make an informed decision and you cannot solve any problem. So if you operate out of fear, you're always going to be stuck there, and you're going to be a victim of your own fear and the things that you've created there. But if both sides of your brain are connected, and this is how you're creativity and your inspiration flow. You can solve the problems in your life, transcend them, move beyond all of that, and create what you want in your life because you have the ability to, because you're working with all of your capabilities, unique talents, gifts, and strengths. That's why you need to focus on what you love, not what you don't want. This is the biggest message I can ever give anybody. I hope you take it. I hope you take it to heart. There you go, Amy.
That's awesome. Well, and I just want to say, like, this, it's all about evolution. So everything that's happened in the past, all the triumphs and struggles and all of it, everything is constantly evolving. And it's a big part of my spiritual practice is really focusing on the fact that everything is impermanent, the good and the bad. Everything is always changing. This is one of the big things I teach my kids. We did an amazing experience. We witnessed an amazing ceremony over the summer. We were at this music festival where these Buddhist monks created a mandala for the entire weekend. It was the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. It was a sand mandala with all these different colors, and you could go watch them doing it. And it's like a meditation practice for them. They're putting all this healing energy into this thing, and it was the most amazing piece of artwork you've ever seen. And then at the end of the weekend, they did a ceremony where they took the whole thing up to the front of the room where there's like tons of people there watching, and they took this giant paintbrush and they went through the whole middle of it. And then they did it the other way. And then they mixed it all together. And then they put it in an urn and dumped it in the river. And my kids were like, oh my God, because they saw how much work they had put into it and how beautiful it was. And so we've been, we talk about it all the time, and we refer back to it all the time because it was so beautiful to watch this man pouring the sand into the river. And the whole message behind it is that, everything, a lot of my stuff that I do is Buddhist, the Buddhist teachings, which is all about impermanence. And so that's part of the teaching is that nothing is permanent. Everything is constantly changing. The other thing behind it was for them that all the healing energy that they put into making that was going to go into this river that was going to wash out into the ocean and help heal the world. So there was multiple messages going on. But the point is, nothing stays the same. Everything is constantly changing. And I think one of the things that holds us back as human beings is that we have attachment to things and aversion. And so if we can get past that and just realize that things are constantly changing, it's something called evolution that's been always happening, that's going to continue to happen. And though we've experienced some bumps in the road and some big changes and some things like Chris just talked about, I'm just always open to the evolution of things. And when you think about, what's going to happen with technology is going to rock the world. It already is, but it's really going to start to rock the world over the next 5, 10, 20 years. It's going to blow our minds. And so it's already, I feel like, the speed of technology is, it's happening faster and faster, how fast things are upgrading and changing. And I just got a new iPhone 5, and now there's another one, and all this, my kids and I just went and saw, or my one daughter and I just went and saw this movie. I highly recommend it, by the way. It's called Big Hero 6, and it's about robots and geniuses, but the underlying message is about love. But you can kind of get an idea because there's some stuff portrayed in that movie that I think is actually going to come to fruition over the next several years with technology. So there's no way that we can continue to do the things we've always done, continue to operate the way that we've always operated, and think that we're going to be able to keep up. I mean, with the world, things are constantly evolving. So for me, the reason why this is the kind of meditation that I do has to do with this, and it's a really powerful reminder as we go through life. If we can remember that everything is impermanent, and even the good stuff, and the bad stuff, it's very much an empowering context that we can take into our lives to know that all we can do is continuously evolve, and that's what we're doing here. That's why we're here. That's how we've gotten here. We wouldn't be here right now, exactly where we are right now, Chris and I, in the Next Level Mastermind, if we hadn't been where we've already been. We had some evolution we had to go through. We had some lessons we had to learn. We had some people that we had to meet along the way, and people that came into our lives, people that came out of our lives. All these things had to happen for us to get where we are right now, and it's true for every single one of us. So,
I have a perfect analogy for that, Amy, if I could. it's like we have a certain set of values and beliefs in the way that we see the world, and as leaders, we set this expectation for people to live up to that. And for the most part, they do. However, there are some that don't subscribe to our same paradigm or look at the world the same way. Some of them who have, less than ethical intentions and less of an understanding of themselves and life in the world. And so, what I say about it is, you can act as if people are going to live up to your expectations and operate that way. However, what we've learned by people with their less than ethical motivations and selfish motivations is we still got to lock the door at night. We still live in a world where there's people that will do that, and yet we can live in the world that creates our reality, but make sure we lock the doors at night so that no one steals from you while you're sleeping. And so we just have to make sure to maintain, and understand that there's people from all different viewpoints out there, and some have selfish intentions, and some have very ethical and all-encompassing holistic intentions, and there's the whole gamut of that. And so what has been an eye-opening process for me is that when I expect the best out of people, I normally get it. The people that were my leaders in my teams, they've always lived up to what I expected for them. The moment that they've left is when they started to subscribe to their own stuff. And, I'm not saying all of them go and do unethical things. There are those that have left that are going and doing great things, maintaining their integrity and honesty, and some that are not. But, and just to be real and straight about stuff, there could be some people on here on the Hangout right now, they're like, ooh, who are they talking about? Well, you know what? You guys are smart enough to figure that out. I'm not going to bash people publicly unless there's someone who calls out, and does dishonest, ethical things. I will call those people out. I called out Vic, and when I mean Vic Strisshouse. To me, he totally was unethical, and there are others. No need to bring energy to that or focus to that. I wanted to use Vic because it's long past and we're over it and dealt with it. I wanted to use that as an example to illustrate a point, and you guys are smart enough that I don't need to talk about the rest. You can figure it out. If someone burns you once, you don't go back to them. You realize that. Screw me once, shame on you. Screw me twice, shame on me. And maintain your integrity in everything that you're doing, and that's how you maintain a long-term business. The reason why we have people around now from the beginning and will be here for the long term is that they know what to expect, and they know that when we tell them something, we live up to it, that we are totally in alignment with who we are and what we say and what we speak. And just remember to do that in your own marketing. And that's what we're going to do here at the Next Level Mastermind. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to preach. And there's nothing wrong with having your own message. All we ask is that it's ethical and full of honesty and integrity. And we've proven that business model works, and in fact works better and more long term than someone who thinks they have to use short-term methods to get a quick buck to scare people into buying something, and then they're gone tomorrow. And then they have to go and get another sucker born every day type of mentality. Continuing to either scheme people or scam people, or giving the wrong expectation, or just flat out lying about in their marketing. And we won't have that here. We won't tolerate that here. If we see you doing that here, you'll be gone. You'll be gone. You are all adults. You know what I mean. I don't have to reprimand you like you're a child. I will just simply say, we stand for ethics and integrity here, and being congruent and in alignment with your message and your vision and your ideals. And if that includes dishonesty, you will not be here. And you all know that. So all of you who are out there looking right now, who may be on the outside, looking at everything we've talked about here, realizing that, wow, they've been through a lot. They are some seasoned marketers that have led teams and done a lot of good and a lot of significance. You are right. And what we're offering to you is that if you want a place that's safe for you to be able to create your own creativity, do it with ethics, not be afraid of being taken advantage of or being stolen from or overcharged or all that stuff, you'll find it here. You'll find that whoever you join here, it doesn't have to be Amy or myself, whoever invited you here, you can click that button below that says Get Started Now. You can join Empower Network. You can join and be part of Kalatu when it launches, and you can join the Next Level Mastermind and be a part of the Next Level Mastermind that helps lift you up and cultivate that leadership in you and help you channel that creativity into your marketing and have fun doing it and make an income from it and be able to create the life you want. That's what we're here to do. As we create ours, all we want to do is help you create yours. That's what I got. Back to you.
Yeah. I think we should think about wrapping it up here, Chris. We've been on for 2 hours. What do you think?
I think so.
Okay. Um, well, I guess as far as closing thoughts, I'll just say, you know, you know, we live in a world where people think everything's supposed to be perfect or it needs to be perfect. And that's not true. There's always an ebb and a flow. So my my thought to take away today is to just really um, honor wherever you are in your life, wherever you are in your business, and just be grateful for where you are and learn from that and move forward from there. This isn't about trying to be like somebody else or having everything be perfect. It's just really about honoring the process and the journey. And like I said, I've always tried to operate my business from my heart and my intuition and my commitment going forward, which we've talked about today a lot. One of my biggest, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in the last year has been to really trust myself on another level. And my commitment to you is that I'm going to take my heart and my intuition and I'm going to trust myself on a higher level to move all of us to the next level. So I'm really, really excited about our movement and this new year that we're coming into, and the evolution of the planet and the evolution of all of our group of co-creators here. So I just want you to all know I love you with all my heart, and I'm here to serve you, and we're here to serve you, and we love you, and thank you for being here with us today, and happy New Year. We'll see you again before the New Year, I think, but
Absolutely.
I just the New Year is approaching quickly, so just really start to think about what you're going to create in the new year, because your thoughts start to put things into motion right now. We're creators, we're manifestors. So don't wait till January 1st to create your new year, because the thoughts that you think today will start to create your new year starting right now. So you're more powerful than you believe, and so think the thoughts, think about what you want, and focus on what you want right now for the new year to start getting that ball in motion. That's it. Love you guys. Over to you, Chris, to close it out.
Right. If you only knew how powerful you really are, you would never put your trust in someone else to do it for you, because you have everything you need. And just learning a few technical things, it's details. And just so we're all clear, to be a part of the Next Level Mastermind, you need to join Empower Network. You need to be at least the $25 blogging Kalatu blog level. You can join it now, and you will still get access to the Next Level Mastermind, even though we don't launch the new Kalatu blog for another couple of weeks, is what it's looking like. And some of you are already on that beta test and know how amazing it is, and you feel free to speak up in the comments now and let people know how amazing it is and what you've experienced with it, and how people are already getting search engine rankings in a week from it. It's amazing. And like how Amy has expressed, well, she's just blogging about what she loves and she's getting 10 leads a day. So why can't you do it? It's just the same. Now, for those of you that want to be serious, if you buy all of the products in Empower and you go all in, and you'll find out more about what that is on the inside when you join at the $25 level, you will be given directions on how to do that. You'll even have a bundle for the first 7 days that will allow you to buy all-in products much cheaper than what you would buy them all separately. It's only a limited time. If you do that, we unlock extra stuff inside the Next Level Mastermind. Some of you who are not all in see some of the training back there and go, this is pretty good, this is pretty awesome, but I expected more, because we've talked about having more than that. Well, the reality is the rest of that is at the all-in level. If you are all in, it unlocks other training for you in the Next Level Mastermind. It's going to be about twice as much training and frameworks and formulas and things for you to help you promote your business even better, and it teaches you how to upgrade people all in so that you can make those types of commissions as well. So it's a self-fulfilling, self-perpetuating thing that starts with you. So join today, click that button below, get started. You'll get access to the Next Level Mastermind right away, and if you get all in, you'll get everything, and that's worth it. So you'll find out more about that when you get in on the inside, but for now, get started. Click Get Started Now. join, be a part of Kalatu and the movement that we're going to create here. Let's get rolling. Honored to have you with us, and we love you. Happy holidays.